Hello, hello, hello. I have not been on the microphone, excuse me, in quite some time. I was taking some time away for some self care, some healing, some self work, a lot of different things. I had a huge move, so there was a lot that has been going on in my life. However, y'all know I just can't not talk. Okay, like there's a couple of things that I had a little bit of you know, some things to say. So I was watching Love is Blind, right? And I was watching Love is Blind with my sons. And they had a lot of commentary as Love is Blind was playing. And I'm watching it because, I watch the show. It's not abnormal for me to watch Love is Blind. I like the show, but the whole premise of the show, if you know, is these people meet each other. They're in pods. They're in the pods for about 10 days. And then they don't see each other, and then they come out with someone to marry or think getting engaged. Then they go on like a little retreat for about a week, and then after that retreat they go into regular life. So I wanted to break down the scenario between Alex and Tim. Okay, because one, I know a lot of people were kind of upset with Tim. They were like, oh, he's pretending, he's a narcissist, he's not a nice guy. But this lesson up here today that I saw was not to white cape Tim as though like he was the best person in the world, or as though like he was the best man ever and she caught her a catch. Really, this lesson is why 80% of us are not married and not going to get married, and why we are failing in relationships as young Black women. And there is a lot that I saw, and a lot of it was some things that my sons said out loud, and I caught it. I have to be honest. And I was like, wait, why'd y'all say that? And then they ended up telling me. So I'm not going to be long tonight. I just want to, get this out. I just finished doing my due diligence. I just voted, help your country. Okay. So I'm going to start off by saying I'm not white caping Tim. My notes are over here though on my other computer. So you're going to see me kind of delving back and forth, and that's fine. But when I'm thinking and the thoughts are coming, I am typing and it goes really fast. All right. So there's sometimes a reason why women are still single. So again, my focus is not him, but for us as women, because the biggest flex that we can have is to not change our behavior or who we truly are based on what a man does in a moment. So one of the things I want to talk about is a lot of people be like, oh, well, how she acted was in response to Tim, or how she acted was in response to some things that he did. But the biggest flex as a woman, especially one who operates in feminine energy, the biggest flex is to never change who you are based on what a man does. So that was something, and there's a lot of women that's dealing with trauma and hurt, and I understand that. Trust me, I do. I have gone through it myself. And some of the worst times ever is to try to deal in a situation with the person that actually hurt you. But a lot of these women, it's not that man that hurt you, it was somebody else. And now you're just kind of like treating him as though he was the guy, right? So that's the number one flex, is to never change who you are based on what a man does. So Alex gets no excuses from me, because to me, Alex, she chose her behavior in a given moment based on what she felt she needed to do. All right. So I'll start off here. So we already know that they only see each other in those pods for 10 days. I mean, me personally, I couldn't fall in love in 10 days, but they say the experience a whole different beast and you fall in love really quick. Don't really understand it, but hey, to each his own, right? But I do know that both parties have much to evaluate. So although they're in the pods, they only got 3 weeks, y'all, to figure this out and figure out if this is going to be their forever person. So I want to start off with a valuable lesson for Alex. Okay. Sometimes unbalanced two-parent households can be the detriment to men and women. I know we always say, and I agree with this. I know we always say that two-parent households are great, and they fare off better in life, and they have a better chance at society and being balanced human beings, and this is so true, right? However, one of the things that happens is there's flaws in this construct, okay? And I'll say that it affects women in a different way. And because we're talking about women and not men, okay, don't come in here trying to kill me in these comments. I talk to women, I don't talk to men, okay? I'm going to just give a little bit of insight. So, as a girl in a household where her father provides, protects, cherishes, loves, adores, is affectionate, spoils her, dotes on her, and literally thinks she's the greatest gift, this can be a detriment if she didn't have a mother who also offered the same amount of balance in that area, okay, with accountability, structure, and discipline. So I'm going to give you an example. My father has never yelled at me a day in my life. I have never understood the voice raise of a man because I didn't have a father who yelled at me. He never had to. My mother yelled. My father did not. A man yelling at me puts me in a wild state of anxiety. I cannot take it. I automatically go into fight or flight. I automatically go into protect myself mode because why is this grown man who's way bigger than me yelling at me? Even if I raise my voice at my father because I'm exasperated and I'm upset and I'm emotional, my father never raised his voice at me. He was always the stoic, calm, I hear you, but listen to this. He never got irate. I've never seen it. I've never seen my grandfathers get irate. I come from a family of very calm, stoic, strong men. So they never had to yell. It was just kind of like, that's not what we do here. So I didn't understand that in a marriage. Like, why are you yelling? There's no need like for the yelling. Then if you yell and I yell back, now we have a problem. Like, yeah, I'm not used to that. And I realize now at this age that that's just something I can't deal with. I can't do it. It's not something I could ever even try to deal with because there's actually no need for it, right? But what I will say is my mom yelled, and her yell wasn't scary to me though, because we're kind of equal. Her energy matches my energy matches hers. It was never scary. So that can be a detriment though to women whose fathers dotes on them. Now, let me say why, right? It's kind of an opposite in polarity. So moms provide that for daughters and fathers provide it for sons. So moms provide accountability and discipline and structure for girls, dads do it for the boys. So having said that, I could be like, hey, I can I go to the store or whatever, or I would get like emotional and my mother would be like, what, we're not doing that. Where my father was the more calm one. So my mom had that balance there. And the same with boys. Moms coddle boys and dads don't. So they always kind of get that balance and polarity. I was watching this show and I realized that, oh, this could be a bad thing though if you didn't have that. If you had a mom that was quieter and didn't like step up and do the disciplining of the little girl, where the father is definitely not going to do the disciplining of the little girl, he's going to love and dote and be affectionate, you're going to create a monster. You're going to create a beast. You're going to create something that is uncoachable, untamable, and uncooperative because there was nothing that held her to the fire. If the dad didn't do it and the mom didn't do it, then nobody did it. And this woman grows up and she becomes like the devil. All right. So have you ever noticed that moms are harder on their daughters than the fathers are, and fathers are harder on their sons than the mothers are? And this is by design to create the balanced household and to create the polarity and energy, y'all. Okay. However, if the mom allows the father to completely dote on the daughter without the balance, a demon is created. She's going to be entitled. She's going to be spoiled. She's going to be inherently selfish and self-centered, thinking that men are supposed to bow at her feet, just like her daddy did. Okay. And this is going to turn most men away. So when a woman thinks that a man is supposed to dote on her, give her things, and she has that sense of entitlement, she doesn't walk into a relationship feeling as though she has to earn those things. Men don't have to fully give out their provision and protection without getting something in return. Relationships are reciprocal. And the moment that one person walks in feeling as though you owe me and I need to get this regardless of what you already have started the relationship at a deficit, and there's always going to be a problem. All right. So Alex, even in the pod when I was watching it, was giving me spoiled daddy vibes. She talked about her family way too much. She talked about her brothers way too much. And I get it. That's how they connected, because of their family, and both are how close knit they are to their families. But Alex has a stepmother. It's not her mom. Alex has a father who is a doting father, and she has brothers, meaning she is the only girl. Ooh, that girl is a monster. That girl is a monster. So let me just start to dissect this a little bit. Okay. So again, this is not about Tim. Let's not get into Tim. I don't want to talk about Tim, y'all. Okay. We're talking about Alex. I don't want to talk about what he could have done or what he could have done different. We're talking about Alex. Okay. So the first thing I noticed, because they never showed the argument, was at the reunion when they spoke about the first argument. Okay. So deductive reasoning, it said they kind of deduced and said that she was kind of upset about missing her family. But one, this girl is hella grown. Okay. She's like in her 30s, like 35 or 36. You're hella grown. You also signed up on the dotted line to go on this show. The show specifically tells you the time frame you're going to be there. You sign up for the time frame you're going to be there. So apparently they were all at a mixer, right? They're all at this mixer, and everything's going fine between her and Tim. Next scene, she gets up, walks away. She's upset apparently about missing her family. She has never been away from her family this long. Sidebar, how are you going to get married? But okay. She's never been away from them for this long. She's distraught about missing her father, and she locks herself in the bathroom. So apparently Tim doesn't know what happened, right? She has an emotional moment. He doesn't know what's going on. She says she just wanted to go to sleep, just get the day off her. I just needed to take a shower, get in the bed, and go to sleep. Red flag number one. You don't know how to communicate. You're a little girl. You're spoiled. Because even if that was the case, why did you not talk to this man that's supposed to be your fiance, that you're supposed to be marrying in the next 14 days, 21 days? Why did you not talk to him and tell him, listen, even if you didn't want to get into everything, listen, I'm having a little bit of a moment. Do you mind just giving me a little bit of space? Let me go lay down real quick and I'll be right back out. Okay. So she doesn't say anything. She just catches this attitude out of nowhere. He doesn't know where it came from, what he did, what happened. All he knows is she catches this attitude, right? He goes in there to see what's wrong. Because again, he thinks it's him. He doesn't know what happened, right? He thinks it's him. So he's like, what's going on? She's like, I don't want to talk about it. I just want to take a shower and go to bed. Whoa, hold on. He didn't do it. This is a grown man you're talking to, and he didn't do it. Okay. It's one thing if it's a grown man you're talking to and he's the culprit, right? He's the one that hurt you. He's the one that bruised you. And that's why you're in the bathroom having an emotional moment to begin with. But if he didn't do it and you're literally like, oh my God, what in the world? You guys hear my son on this game? I'm going to mute for a second and yell. Hold on one second. I'm sorry about that. This is why I have two offices. I have one in my room, but I didn't feel like being down there today. You want to be on that game going crazy about anyway. So she doesn't know what happened, right? She's just like, I mean, he doesn't know what's happened. He's just like, is it me? Did I do it? What's going on? And she won't talk to him. She wants to be left alone. And instead of saying that, she finally says, well, I'm upset about my parents. And now he has a problem though. So now instead of just turning, okay, you got a problem with your parents. Let me get going. He's like, well, why are you taking it out? Why are you taking it out on me? Like, I didn't do it. So now she's upset. This woman done came out her mouth and called him a little ass bitch on their vacation after just becoming engaged. Then she commences to taking her hands and putting it on his mouth. Ah, 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 ah. She put her hands over his mouth to stop him from talking. That's what I got from the reunion. That's what I saw, right? So, first of all, I don't know why she thought, I just met you 2 weeks ago. What woman in her right mind that wants a man to marry her, this is your brand new fiance, would call a man a little ass bitch? Like, even me saying it now, I wouldn't even say it to a girl if I didn't want to throw hands. So why are you saying it to him and he's supposed to be marrying you? Right? Like, I don't think I've ever called a man a little ass bitch in my entire life, because it's just inappropriate. Like, what are you doing? Like, I've done all the, I've raised my voice, I've been emotional and not talk, but calling a man a little ass bitch, that girl, I think even the worst of us could say that was wrong, right? I don't think that that was going to be without consequence for her. So that was red flag number one. And here's the thing, you don't get that many times with a man. You get, it's like a kind of a 3-strike you're out rule. That was strike number one. And you did it very early on. Like, it was crazy. So this is why I'm going to go ahead and say it. I'm going to be nice, but I'm going to tell the truth and shame the devil. This is why a lot of women are up here, legs to the ceiling with mad D in their mouth and never get a husband. Because you're not wife material. You are only good enough to be a good time for them, minimally and at their whim when they feel like it. No man wants to commit to behavior like that. One, once he marries you, you're a representation of him. But two, once he marries you, you're going to be talking to him like that. That's crazy, okay? So this is why, guys, I'm just going to give you the real. We'll keep you around, but we'll never actually commit to protecting and providing for you long term. And then you're always kind of wondering why. So they'll never think about committing to you. It's almost like, yeah, she cool, but I mean, like, when people be like, when are you gonna marry her? He like, what? Marriage? No. Like, and men know why, because the moments my sons heard that, they was like, oh nah. And one of my sons is 20 and one is 25. And they were just like, nah, no, unacceptable, right? Secondly, I'm not fat shaming, because this goes for all women, but you can't have, again, remember that 3-strike you're out rule. You can't have 3 things wrong. You got to kind of pick what you want to be wrong with you as a woman. Like, well, none of us are going to be perfect, right? But there's things that they'll accept and things that they won't. So you can't be big without a valid face card. You can't be big and rude, insecure, uncooperative, can't cook and don't clean. You can't be pretty but you got a bad attitude and can't cook. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, there's tiers, and you just gotta pick which ones you're gonna be. Like, you're gonna be big, you gotta be pretty, cooperative, and supportive. You're gonna be skinny or cute, but you lack all the other things. Like, that throws your skinny or cute out the window. So it doesn't, these things don't matter. It kind of has to come together as a cohesive package, not just one thing or the other. All right. So let's start there. All right. So this is the part, and I don't make these rules up. I just follow them, y'all. Like, I didn't make these up. Somewhere along the line, some men made these up. All right. The bottom line of what I realized is that Alex was pretty much uncooperative. She was an uncooperative human being in general. And you could tell he's not happy at all when he comes and has that first conversation with her. He comes in and he's basically like, I was going to end a relationship after that. There was going to be no engagement. I was done. And now she wants to hug and cuddle. And he's like, nah, you need to understand how serious what you did was. Now, remember, again, they only got 3 weeks to make this their forever person, to make sure that they know and understand that this is going to be their forever person. And she's already had an emotional fit and called him out his name. All right. So I've always said this, you guys who have been a part of my crew, the love therapy crew for years, you guys know that I've always said that a woman will never respect you more than the level she respects you before you marry her. So when a man meets a woman, whatever level she respects him, then that's her level of respect for him. So if it's one thing if you come into a relationship and the woman had an utmost respect for you and adoration for you and admiration for you and just like looked at you a certain way and you lost that, that's different. It's also different when a woman comes to the relationship and she didn't respect you in the first place. She's calling you names, she's putting her hands on you, she's doing things that are way too out of pocket too early on in the relationship. You got a problem, Houston. We got a problem. All right. So they're never gonna respect you higher than the level they respect you when they're your girlfriend. So if you marry them, that's not going to get better. They're not going to respect you more. If anything, they have the capacity to get worse. And men know this inherently. So let's move on, right? So Tim had to meet her family. Now, prepared all the food. This man prepared the food, set up the grill, went to the grocery store, bought all the food, right? Cooked separate meals for the parents and the brothers because they like different things. Was respectful to her family, talked to them all night, asked for her dad's hand, read him a whole letter, got the father emotional, made it a decent day for all of them. That was Tim's contribution. That's what he did. Fast forward, it's time to meet his parents. Okay. They drive down for 10 hours. 10 hours. That's like coming from down south to the north. That's driving from North Carolina to New York or Connecticut. That's driving from 10 hours. That's crazy. That's not 45 minutes drive. That's not, oh, we come down, it's going to take us about 2 hours to get here. 10 hours. You talk to them. You're like, well, I talked to your parents for 4 hours and you decide you want to take a nap. I was on the phone with my sister yesterday and we were just talking about it. And I was like, it's one thing, right? If you kind of like, they drove 10 hours and you were tired and you were entertaining, you guys were watching a movie or you guys had all talked and you kind of dozed off on the couch with them sitting there, you kind of just, that proves that you're kind of actually exhausted when you doze off. But you went and put your big ass in the bed. Like you tucked yourself in. You said, all right, y'all, I'm about to call it a night. I gotta go take a little nap real quick. Putting yourself to bed while you have your new fiancés, brand new in-laws that are coming to meet you that drove 10 hours, putting yourself to bed is crazy. That's insane. She did not cook the meal. She didn't host. She did not clean. Y'all, there is a very valuable lesson to learn here. As women, well, a wife, right? Not just women, a wife. One of the things that you need to at least be proficient is in serving. Wives have a level of servitude that girlfriends don't have. And wives have a level of sacrificialness inside of them because they know that they're going to be there to serve. Some don't understand that there is a level of sacrifice that comes to being or with being a wife. It's a level of sacrifice. You can't count all the L's because you're supposed to have them. There is a level of sacrifice, laying your own will down, laying your own what you want to do down for the sake of others and for the sake of the family. This standard, unfortunately, is not always there for girlfriends. So when a man is looking for a wife, they're usually looking for specific qualities that are going to assist him in building y'all's life together. That's what they're looking for. They're not looking for cuteness all the time and, oh, she got to have a big fat ass or, she got to have a banging body and a V shape and a Coca-Cola shape. And they're looking for certain qualities and attributes that they can deal with long term. Okay. Not just a companion. A companion is girlfriend status. All right. That's not a wife role. She thought her personality first because she met in the pods, not seeing him. She thought her personality first and her look second. We're going to get her the role and keep her the role. And no, it takes more than that. But let's keep going. Let's keep going. Okay. So every woman knows what it means when a man says he wants to talk. Uh-oh. Well, I think that we all know what it means. Like, even if a man tells a woman we need to talk, it's like, ooh, yikes. And if a woman says to a man, we need to talk, anytime you got to have some type of detrimental conversation or a conversation that could seem detrimental, there's always a level of like angst that comes with that. Okay. But the thing about men is, especially masculine ones, is that they are intentional when they say we want to talk or we need to talk. And they want to be heard when they say we need to talk or I want to talk to you or we need to talk. 9 times out of 10, if y'all don't live together, they also let you know when they're coming over. They'd be like, hey, we need to talk. What time is good for you? Because they're usually respectful in that way. They don't just pop up on you. They usually be like, all right, so you get off at 5, it's 6 o'clock good. You think you'll be settled by then? Okay, yeah, 6 o'clock, right? They don't just pop up on you. So this girl now, mind you, we will get into this in a minute, but already done told this grown man that she don't cook. So I was watching another scene. And this was, I think, when they first got out of the pods, and she was kind of like, are you going to expect me to cook every day? And he was like, nah, no, absolutely not. We could DoorDash. Like, it don't matter to me. She was like, oh, because I'm not. You over talked him to tell him what you're not going to do as a wife. You about to be a wife. And the first thing you ask coming out the gate is, are you going to expect me to cook every day? I can't make this up. I am more embarrassed and appalled than I have ever been watching a Black woman on television, besides like those ratchet shows. But this is where they're supposed to be serious about finding love and finding a spouse and wanting to move forward and being willing to marry somebody without seeing them first, like seeing them after they get proposed to. So, girl, you're not a wife, you're a girlfriend. The fact that you busted out and said, do you want me to cook every day? Because I'm not, is insane. Okay. Because even if you said, are you going to expect me to cook every day? And he was like, well, I kind of like home cooked meals. The next thing that should have came out of her mouth was, okay, well, I'll learn. I'll look up some recipes. I'll figure that out. Okay. Not, are you going to want me to cook every day? Because I'm not. Bitch, what do you got your, what are you here for? Not saying that women are here to cook and clean and wash their dirty drawers. That's not what I'm saying. But you really think your looks and a couple conversations are going to keep this marriage going? Is that what you're thinking? Like, is that what you're thinking? This man's a marketing strategist. He goes to work every single day. You work as a beauty. I think she does like blogging, writing for a beauty blog or something like that. So anyway, let's keep cooking because I told you I was going to be quick today. I'm not about to get on the mic and keep y'all all night. Okay, this is quick. This is a skilleted dish. This is not a slow cooker. Okay. So anyway, I'm sure this man told her what time he was coming over, and she heating up a big ass plate of wings. Like a big ass plate of wings, fries, and some type of blue cheese or ranch. And she didn't cook the wings, you could tell. She door dashed or Uber Eats some food to the house, had a big ass plate of wings that she was putting in the microwave exactly at the time that this man was coming to the house. He knocks on the door while she putting that big ass, embarrassing ass plate of wings in the microwave. That made me mad a little bit. Because why you got all them wings on your plate at once? That's crazy. The girl had about a good 8 wings. And I'm not talking about wingettes, drums, or flats. I'm talking about both with the tail. About a good 8 of them on that plate. Just too much. And a big ass side of fries. I promise y'all, I don't feel like that was a coincidence that she happened to be heating up that big ass plate of wings right while he was knocking on the door. I don't think that was a coincidence. It was just too perfect. She did not just happen to do that at that time. She purposely did it. So let me tell you something about passive aggressiveness or even slightly narcissistic women. She did this purposely to demean his time. She did it purposely to show that this isn't that important. It was her passive aggressive way of saying, I'm not even taking this seriously. Because when somebody says they want to come have a talk, even if it's girlfriends, like, hey, I just need to talk to you about something, and you want someone's undivided attention when you're sitting to talk. You don't want their big ass heating up a big ass plate of wings in a microwave while you're coming to talk to them about something very serious, especially as it relates to your relationship. I mean, come on, we all know this. All right, she did that to show him what he's about to talk about is not that important, and she could be doing, or rather be doing, something else. Listen, you can't fool me. I saw it. I saw it. So when he told her the time he was going to be there, her ass should have heated up that big ass plate of wings either before he came, ate before he came, or waited until after the conversation to go get something to eat, not at the exact same time. So let's move on because I'm cooking a little bit now, right? She opens the door for him and then sits her ass down and starts eating. Now, mind you, he comes in, he's sitting on the couch. Let's say I'm him, he's sitting on the couch. The table she's sitting at is behind him. She's at a bar, again, chomping on that big ass plate of wings, right? He isn't there for social hour. He is there to have a very intentional conversation with you, and you decide to heat up wings, then go sit behind him. You didn't come sit where he was at. You sat behind him. This is getting crazier and crazier as I'm even talking about it. So he says respectfully, are you ready to talk now? This happened talking about some, well, I haven't eaten all day. Well, shit, we could tell. We can't tell because what we do know is you wasn't at the gym all day. That's what we do know. This happened talking about some, I haven't eaten all day. Again, about her. This man has already called you, told you he's on his way by. He needs to talk to you about something very important. And you decide to heat up your big ass plate of wings at the moment that he's coming over. And then when he says, are you ready to talk now? I haven't eaten all day. You got 24 hours in a damn day. You didn't just get home because the girl had on a tank top and some big ass pants that looked like some hammer pants. It looked like she didn't bathe or put a comb to her head. Her face looked ashy, like it wasn't washed, didn't have no moisturizer on it, and she slapped some lip gloss on to say that she did something to herself. What? What's happening? So he's like, well, I would like your undivided attention. Yes. Still calm, very stoic, very calm. She says, oh, okay, I'll come over there. I'm embarrassed, y'all. So not only was this heifer eating that big ass plate of wings, this is your supposed fiance. He's coming over to have a serious conversation with you. This girl didn't ask him if he wanted anything to eat. She didn't ask him if he wanted some of her wings because, hey, here's the thing. I've done it. I've done it a couple times. You know, they coming over for that serious conversation. You don't know what it's gonna be, what they about to say, and so you're a little nervous, right? They come over. If I'm cooking, right, I'm gonna be like, hey, you want something to eat? Again, like I said in the beginning, never let a man's actions stop you from being who you are. And if I would have normally been like, hey, you want something to eat, or you want me to make you a plate, or would you like some of these? I could put some to the side for you. Even if he said, nah, I'm all set, I'm just over here to talk, you did your part. All right. But she didn't even ask. If a man, ladies, if a man comes to your house, right? Actually, if anyone comes over to your house, to be quite frank, you offer them some of what you're having. You offer them something to eat. You don't just eat in front of them. You don't just eat in front of people in general. Would you like some? Or you put it away while they're there. This girl has zero wife skills, but it almost seems like she has zero home training. Okay? Like, who raised her? I'm appalled. Because she's spoiled and she's self-centered and she's narcissistic, because that is wife skill, home skill, entertainment 101 is when someone comes into your space, you offer them some of what you're having, or you don't have it in front of them. That's just home training. You want me to come sit over there? Yeah, girl, get your big ass pants over here. As though a grown ass man wouldn't want to look you in your face while he's talking to you. You used to go sit behind him in some weird passive aggressive ass way. It's crazy. So then she bring that big ass plate of wings over there and literally starts eating a piece of them while he's talking to her. That wing is that important, girl? You mean to tell me that wing is that important that you couldn't put that wing down when he was talking to you? A wing that you ain't even asked him if he wanted to taste, by the way? So he couldn't have meant to tell her what his issues are as it relates to her parents. And her answer was to him when he said, it took a lot with me, with your parents, and putting all that stuff together. I just feel like I wouldn't have done that to you. He was soft spoken. He didn't raise his voice not one time. He wasn't even really condescending. He was just like, I wouldn't have done that. And I could see the clear difference between how I acted and related when your parents came versus how you acted and related when my parents. And here's the thing, their parents didn't even come. They went to go see their parents. His parents actually drove 10 hours. And your answer to him was, well, I like my naps. I hope you don't want me cooking all the time because I'm not. I haven't eaten all day. I like my naps. This girl only says I all the time. That's crazy. Then he tells her about the lack of communication as it relates to the text messages. So apparently, from what I'm understanding, is there was something going on with her car that he either got fixed or he fixed it for her. Either way, there was something going on with her car that he was checking in on because he knew what the problem was. And he texted her something about her car and she answered him, it's fine. Once again, zero communication skills. That almost sounds, they're taking for granted, taking advantage of. This man is reaching out to you to check on you, to check on something that he thinks would be a danger to you. And you say, it's fine. Then he texts her about making sure she checked her tire pressure because her tire had gone flat. And he had already told her to check the tire pressure before. He got the tire done, asked her to make sure she checks the tire pressure. She never even responded to that one. If I had pearls, I would be clutching them right now because right now I want to wring her neck. Apparently, this grown woman, 30 something years old, felt like it was optional to send a text back to your fiance that was calling to check on you. And it wasn't like she was busy at work that day. She basically kind of just said, I didn't feel like texting back. I didn't feel like talking. She just didn't feel like it. Ladies, a word of advice. Just a word. Just you listen. You don't gotta take what I say to the bank, okay? I'm just a word of advice. That if a man texts you about something as it relates to something that concerns you and your safety, or something that could be dangerous or a detriment to you, you text back. You text back. You say, on it. Thank you so much. I'll check. Okie dokie. Oh my God, you're the best. Thank you for thinking of me. Oh my God, thank you. I so appreciate you always looking out for me. I mean, and if we really want to be wife-like, oh my God, thank you so much. I'll never take this for granted. I so appreciate what you did for me. You don't not respond, you dumb heifer. Like, that man. So now, what red flag are we on? Y'all tell me, okay? What red flag are we on? We're not on one, because one was the calling him a little ass bitch and putting her hands over his mouth. But second red, I forgot to talk about something, y'all, because it's not in my notes. But let me just say this before I get to that. I'm sure he felt the way about that lack of texting back, because these are all kind of like little microaggressions that are happening that she is doing to him and doesn't even know it. Little ass bitch is not a microaggression. That's a crazy aggression. That's OD aggression. Putting your hand over somebody's mouth, aggression. I hope you don't want me to cook all the time because I'm not. Microaggression. I like my naps. Microaggression. He kept making this joke about a dog or something like, yeah, the dog. Don't say that again. I'm not playing. Please don't say that again. It's not funny. He's joking. You can't take a joke. Like, yeah, it's something I was joking about in the pods. She gets to his house. She's like, do I have a say-so in this house? Why do all men want a lazy boy? Well, we have to get rid of these couches. He's like, well, I'm not married to the couch. She's like, why do all men want lazy boys? Like, what is the thing with lazy boys? What is wrong with you? Why do you have an attitude? What is going on? Why is what he is and how he decides to live his life such a problem to you? It's a lazy boy. It's a couch. He has a recliner. The end. It's over. We're fine. You're fine. Then this girl gonna say, if you have an issue with these things, you need to communicate them with me. You have to talk to me about it. If you had a problem about me not cooking or me not answering the text, you have to tell me that. You are 30 something years old. Grown men don't want to have to teach you things that you should have learned from your parents. This is not something he should have to teach you. I'm texting you about your safety. You didn't think to say okay or thank you or at least acknowledge that you got the message. Then to keep it and take it a step further to actually be a fiance or a wife to be like, thank you, honey. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you for loving me in this way. I appreciate nothing. Girl, please. This is like basic relationship stuff 101. How come we don't know these things? There is enough information out here for us to get. But the problem with us as women, a lot of times, we think we got it all together. We think we're good, but don't realize that's why we're on a show in pods talking to people that can't even see us because we can't find a real relationship because people keep dumping us. This is the stuff your parents should have taught you. These are things that you should have learned in previous relationships because another learning lesson is your other relationships. The problems, the issues, the arguments that you had in other relationships, even if the other person was partly to blame, so were you. So evaluate what was said about you in the relationship and go with that. They're probably not lying. They might be using it as manipulative purposes in some cases, but they might not be lying. Take those things and learn from them. How about that? Okay? So I'm sure this is not the first time that this girl has heard things like this about her, that she's self-centered or inconsiderate or spoiled. I am pretty sure what Tim said to her at the end was not the first time she heard it based on how she was as a person. Okay? That's why you want to show the first place because you can't meet nobody. If you were upset about the dishes, you could have said something, girl. Your family, your husband, your fiance's family is here. This man uncooked for your whole family. Why didn't you take the initiative to go in there and wash the dishes? He cooked, you clean. Just go in there and wash the dishes. He cooked, you clean. It's fine. Come on. You went and laid down. You could have did him a solid, just as a team. Oh, you did that, babe? All right, well, I got this part then. Just spoiled. Spoiled, that is ugly. That is ugly spirited. Then his family come and you take your ass to bed. I kept excusing it by saying, well, I only slept for an hour. You put your ass to bed while people who drove 10 hours to specifically come see you were there. That you're supposed to be in there cleaning, cooking, serving. Would you like anything else? Can I get you guys a water? What do you guys want to watch on TV? Are you done with your plate? Oh, I got that for you. Would you like another glass of wine? You don't know how to entertain? You don't know how to be a host? These are things that men look for in women. It's a geisha effect. They're always looking for the highest level of servitude in a woman. She had zero servitude skills, by the way. Literally zero. Okay? Cleaning up after him. She should have been making sure that place was presentable again. wiping stuff down, putting glasses away. Zero entertainment and hosting skills as a woman, as a wife. That's insane. And it's embarrassing to the husband, to be honest. Embarrassing. Which, by the way, this brings me to this, and this will be one of my last points. Did y'all see how nasty she lived? His first mistake was staying with her after he saw how she lived. It's one thing when you got kids, you go put stuff away, they dirty it, you go clean up, you turn around, dishes in the sink again. Where do these come from? You are a single 30-something-year-old woman. Your house should kind of be immaculate because there's nobody that lives there but you. Nobody that makes the mess but you. Nobody to clean up after but you. That's crazy. That's crazy. That was a pigsty. Did y'all see it? Bottles, empty bottles, liquor bottles, food all over the floor. She left stuff out, garbage bags all over the place. I got anxiety when he walked in there because you knew this man was coming and you didn't clean up before he came. Like, again, a microaggression. You're not even important enough for me to straighten up before you come in the house. It's one thing, she had excuse after excuse after excuse. Oh, I was looking for what I was going to wear before the show. Bitch, you've been home for a week now. Over a week. You wasn't living with him. Y'all was going back and forth. So why didn't you find time to clean that place before it was time for him to see your place? That's insane. Just showing him she don't give a damn about his opinion of her. She never presented that man with what she felt was the version of her best. Never presented that to that man at all. It was almost always like, whatever. That's how I live. Then she had a nerve to sit down and said, I know it's a mess, but I feel really comfortable in my mess. In this mess, it's mine. I feel comfortable here. So it's always like whatever for her. She was basically like, eat shit and enjoy it. Take this and go on about your way. Either you're going to like this mess, you're going to deal with me not cooking, not cleaning, being big, uncooperative, rude, selfish, self-centered. She's not the hostess with the mostest, okay? He got to deal with all this, and you want this man to still decide to walk his ass up some aisle and marry you? You got to be kidding me. This has got to be a joke. It's laughable. It's laughable. When he said, I'm not the one for you, she said, I'm not going to spin it. She said, you're not going to spin it like I'm not doing my part. That's what she said. She said, you're not going to spin it like I'm not doing my part. Girl, what part did you do? That's the part I'm trying to figure out. What part did you do? You tell us that. What did you do? Because all I was seeing was what you were saying you were not going to do and what you haven't done. That's all I was seeing. Because I was waiting to see it too. This grown man said with no fear of contradiction, and I loved it because I quoted it. He said, there is no scenario where I see myself standing there waiting at the altar for you to be my wife forever. Just stab me in the stomach. I'm done. And with that in mind, can we at least agree that I don't want to ever see you again? Hurtful. Hurtful. Gut punched. Gut wrenching. There is no scenario where I see myself standing there waiting at the altar for you to be my wife forever. And with that in mind, can we at least agree that I don't want to ever see you again? Woo! He ate. He said, this was nice, and I wish you the best of luck. He got up and left. Y'all know what she did? She picked that big ass bowl of wings up and commenced to eat and threw that wing in her mouth so fast when he walked out. Y'all, I would have been sick to my stomach. Them wings would have sat there cold. The dogs could have had them because I'm ashamed. I'm embarrassed. I'm upset. I've let myself down. I've lost my fiance. I already was on this show because it's obvious and clear that I'm out here not doing something right. And this dude said, this was fun. I wish you the best of luck. And I don't ever want to see you again. The way my stomach would have turned. Y'all would have saw me throw up on live national television. Just throw up everywhere when he walked out. Just ran to the bathroom. Done. Ladies, let this be a lesson learned, please. That there is a distinct difference between being a good girlfriend and a wife. That's why the Bible says that when a man finds a wife, he finds a good thing. Wives are already wives. They already exhibit certain behaviors. The behaviors are already instilled in them. They just need to be brought out and cultivated. You don't become a wife after you're married. You exhibit those things beforehand. Otherwise, you can be a forever girlfriend, and that's fine too. I think that nowadays we as women need to understand what we want to be. Every woman don't want to be a wife. Every woman doesn't deserve to be a wife. Some women can be forever girlfriends. Some women could be jump off. Some women will be forever side chicks. I've realized that now that there's a position for everybody. Just figure out which one you want to be and don't try to jump into the category you're not in. Like, you can't do that. I am a wife, married or not. I will never jump into side chick category because I don't fit there. And I will never jump into I will jump into girlfriend category, but I can't stay there for that long because there has to be a purpose to be this, right? If you're a girlfriend, don't try to jump into wife category because you ain't her. And if you're a side chick, definitely don't try to jump into wife category. You don't have what it takes. I'm sorry. It's tight, but it's right. It's just what it is. You can never be anybody's main dish because you don't offer enough. You don't have enough substance. You don't offer enough of whatever it is that he needs to feel like he wants to wife you. And that's fine too. Just know your position and play it, okay? And here's the thing. There's some men who really don't want wives because they want to continue their life as such, and that's fine too. But when a man desires a wife and he is actively and intently looking for a wife, he's looking for specific characteristics, ladies, and he's looking for them in you. And he's looking for you to already have them. He's looking for you to already exhibit them before he even considers that with you. And unfortunately, Alex and the majority of the women on this particular season did not have that, y'all. They just did not have it. I was watching. Hannah, good job on the Ozempic, but you're a terrible person. Marissa, you're too much for any man. You got to tone it down a notch. You got to simmer down. You don't got to be on 100 all the time, talking that fast, run on sentences. Honestly, she was giving me anxiety on the show. She was talking too much. So you want to buy my mom? I was thinking we could get my mom flowers and we get your mom flowers. And then what? There are bigger things that we need to be talking about besides this wedding. We need to be talking about us. And it just seemed like she only wanted to focus on a wedding. Listen, y'all, I am not here to tell y'all what to do. I'm just the messenger. I just noticed it, okay? Alex was a terrible person. And hopefully and I don't think this will happen though, because of the way that she's raised and how her father coddled her. I don't think this will happen, but I hope she will look back on that and be like, oh, wow, and saw how she came off to people. But it seems like a lot of people missed it. A lot of people didn't notice it because they were focused on how stern he was with her about it, that they missed the microaggressions that Alex was doing whole time. Whole time that girl was a microaggressor. And she got away with it. Or actually she didn't, because she didn't walk away with her husband. She walked away with nothing. Except for, an Instagram following. And that's good because maybe there is a weaker man out there that will deal with all those microaggressions and you not being able to cook or clean or be cooperative. She did lose a little weight for the reunion. She still got a little more to go. She's pretty in the face, absolutely. But she got a lot to work on with that attitude. I'm going to just say it. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for watching again. Thank you for welcoming me back to my microphone. I so appreciate this. And hopefully I will see you guys at the next one. Bye.